To vary with AOC, but who's really running the show for the Democratic Party? We'll debate that next.
She is the face of the Democrat Party, whether she's going around with her squad on the front pages of newspapers, many of your websites, or magazines. I mean, her leftist radical agenda is in the fore in the Democrat Party. There is no doubt about that. She's running the show.
Well, as the White House continues to call Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez the Democrats' real leader, the Speaker of the House says she doesn't think that she and the freshman have any real differences. Said today they are family. So let's talk about it with Democratic strategist Kevin Walling and the Heritage Foundation's Kelsey Bolar. Great to have you with us, guys.
Hey, Shannon, good to see you.
Okay, so they had this meeting today. They came out, and I heard one person before I saw the picture describe it as they both looked like they had guns to their back as they're standing there for the post-meeting photo. Kelsey, what was your impression, and who's really in charge?
It didn't look like the most authentic photo that I've ever seen. I think this was more a PR attempt to stop the feud, or may at least have the appearance of stopping the feud. But Nancy Pelosi said that, this just bubbles down to personality issues. And I have to say, it's not personality issues. This is policy issues, serious policy differences between what moderate Democrats and the so-called squad where they want to take the party. And unless Nancy Pelosi all of a sudden wants to support open borders, abolishing ICE, the Green New Deal, then I don't think this feud is coming to an end anytime soon.
Well, and Kevin, so much of the 2020 field of Democrats are on that further left progressive stretch. When you talk about these things, legalizing prostitution and marijuana and all kinds of other things that Kelsey mentioned. And it's interesting to hear them and see them kind of jockeying for this endorsement that they all kind of want from AOC, more so than we see them going after the approval of the speaker.
Yeah, I mean, no question, AOC, the squad are superstars, right, in the eyes of the left, the Twitter universe that's out there. But I think Speaker Pelosi's having the time of her life. She's 200 days into her speakership. I think, if you look at her two previous Republican counterparts, John Boehner and Paul Ryan, who were taken out by their own party members within their caucus, you're seeing a lot of strength coming from Speaker Pelosi these 200 days in, and she's going to wrangle her party. I was listening to We Are Family today as they were talking about in that press conference. She's got her caucus under control, and I think she's doing a great job.
Okay, so Congressman Ro Khanna said this: "I give the credit to Donald Trump. No one was capable of unifying our party more than the president." He's saying these constant attacks and the president's tweets and those kinds of things are actually helping the Democrats get together at a time when a lot of people are looking to see whether there's a real schism there.
Yes, President Donald Trump has taken some of the attention away from this feud and put it onto himself, and I think that is a mistake looking at it. But I actually think this is a bigger problem for the left beyond just Nancy Pelosi and AOC. Socialism is a trend that we're seeing become more and more popular, particularly among young Americans. My colleague at the Daily Signal actually recently attended a socialism conference where they're not talking about democratic socialism, they're talking about real full-fledged Marxist socialism. So I think Nancy Pelosi knows that, and this is really just the beginning of a movement that Democrats are going to have to deal with the party being pulled further and further to the left, to the point that they're going to leave a lot of voters feeling politically homeless.
And that's certainly what the president's hoping for and the White House hoping for. Today, Sarah Matthews with the Trump campaign said this: "So nice for the leader of the Democratic Party to take time out of her busy schedule to meet with Nancy Pelosi." I mean, they definitely want to pin this thing on AOC, the squad, the progressives as running the show.
They absolutely do. Nancy Pelosi's running the show, and to Kelsey's point, it's taken in stride. But I think you're seeing the excellent reading of her caucus, especially on the impeachment front, right? With the speaker, you have now 100 Democrats that have come forward and saying they want to push for impeachment. She knows where her caucus is. She's pulling those reins a little back. And you saw a bipartisan deal struck with Steve Mnuchin just this past week before they went on this 6-week vacation this summer. And again, you're seeing her at the peak of her power.
They say it's not vacation because it's working back in their home districts.
That's right.
Just so we don't get tweets about that. Okay, so the speaker sent out an email, the Dear Colleague email, called Owning August, about what they're going to focus on now while they're gone for the 5 or 6 weeks. Lowering health care and prescription drug costs, increasing paychecks by rebuilding America, and cleaning up corruption in Washington. Kelsey, she says they're on a roll and they have to hammer home these points that the American people will respond to.
Well, I would say this suggests that Nancy Pelosi doesn't have as much control over her caucus than you suggest, because these issues that you just mentioned are not being talked about on the 2020 campaign trail among AOC and the squad. What they're talking about is decriminalizing the border, providing free health care for illegal immigrants, mandating $15 or now $20 minimum wage. So these are very far left policies that are dominating our national conversation and thereby dominating the conversation on the left.
Okay, so real quickly, I want to put up a Fox News poll that we had out. This is among Democrats, their opinion of how they feel about Nancy Pelosi and AOC. The speaker, she scores higher in both favorable and unfavorable, but they're both on the plus side. Maybe, Kevin, because at this point, she's still the more well-known individual.
She's absolutely the most well-known Democrat, I think, on the stage right now in government, right, not running for president. I'll also note that she has higher ratings than Mitch McConnell does. She's at 39% nationwide. Mitch McConnell's around 25%. So her Republican counterpart is much more underwater than she is on the national stage.
All right, well, we'll see how much of this comes up at the debate next week in Detroit. We will be there. Hope you guys tune in. Good
Absolutely.
to see you both tonight.
Yeah, good to see you.
Have a good weekend, Shannon.
You too.